So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give this a coat of chestnuts. Which camera are we on? This one? No, other way. Chestnuts ebonizer lacquer. Normally I'd paint this. I did one. I had a bit of a play with one a few days ago, which is this one, and that's with a yellow base coat, just a yellow automotive paint, and then it's got a blue Crackle effect paint over the top of it. So we was in a group chat the other night, and me and Wayne and the other guys were saying about what it'd be like with black and orange, or black and I believe this is, what colour is this? Copper brown. So that's what we're going to go for.
So we've got two questions, Steve.
Okay, go for it.
One for you, one for me. A techie question from Pete Twisted Trees. Steve, is that 1080p output because the picture is excellent?
Yes, it is. Well, the video, it's being recorded on OSB in 1080, but obviously going through StreamYard, it drops it down to 720. But if the picture quality is still good, then hopefully it's keeping up the internet connection is enough to keep up with the 720. So good.
And Terry Bray asks me and yourself, because we use the same headsets, what make and model? It's the Jabra Evolve 65.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to put the extraction on to suck in the fumes. So I'm going to give this, I'm just going to use a tack cloth to wipe this with, because of the dust. There's a little bit of dust floating around in here. So I'm just going to, this is just automotive tack cloth that I use all the time. So I'm just going to give that a bit of a wipe. And I'm going to give that a nice coat of ebonizer. Like, I'm trying to keep the can directly over it so I don't blow over the edge, so I get a fairly even line on the edge. But what I am going to do, I'm going to go one way and I'm going to return it by going the other way so I get a fairly even coat over it. Like that. So I'll leave the extraction going for a few minutes just to suck up the air. So obviously, come on, camera, intro camera. So obviously now that's going to obviously have to flash off. So I'm going to have a quick swig of my coffee before I go cold that my wife brought me.
32 minutes.
Thank you very much.
Right.
So I'm going to do.
Doug has asked me my thoughts on urns because I said there was a discussion on Facebook, then I went silent. The discussion was around about 200 cc's, about 1 cc per pound of weight of the person for doing the urn. The size of the piece of wood the people were talking about was about 8 inches tall by 6 by 6.
Right. So obviously that's still wet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that because I've already got one that I made earlier, as they say. Knock that on the floor. So this one I sprayed around about 12 o'clock today because it says on the Crackle effect paint that you can, let's put you on camera so you can see what I'm doing. Makes a bit more sense now. So what it says on the Crackle effect is you need to leave it the minimum of 45 minutes, but the maximum of 25. And to be honest, I've found the longer you leave it, the better the effect you get. The more extreme the crackle is. So, like I say, this has been left now. What are we on? 4:30. So it's about 3.5 hours. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the crackle effect over it, and then hopefully you guys are going to be able to start to see it all crackle up and affect it. And then once that starts to go, I've then got one that's all dry that we can turn out the middle. So hopefully we can finish it. So let's give this extraction on. Give this a nice generous coat of this. And hopefully you should see that start to crackle. Hopefully. It's now starting to go there. Can you see it? Starting to go or not?
Oh, yeah.
And what I've found is it cracks, sort of follows the grain pattern on the oak for some reason. As you can see, that's now starting to, let me see if I can lift it up a bit closer to the camera to get, now starting to see it's crackling.
Yeah. Yep, you can see that perfect.
So obviously the longer you leave it, the more crackle that will go. So that's the crackle effect paint. So what we'll do is we'll leave that one to crackle. Now this one was done, I don't know, when did I do this one? 3 nights ago? Something like that. So that's now totally dried. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get rid of our solar eclipse board, put this back in the lathe, and then we'll turn out our center. Let's move the camera. Just leave that extraction going for a few minutes to get rid of the foist here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it back to here somewhere and just put a light shallow scoop into it. I don't want nothing too adventurous because it's going to be, like I say, going to be more decorative than anything, so it's not going to be usable. Put my safe glasses back on. I'm going to be using a 3/8 bowl gouge. So nice gentle passes. We got 15 minutes, plenty of time. Give it a couple of coats of lacquer. What I will do is I will flash it off with a hot air gun. Again, I'm wiping over with a tack cloth just to take any particles off of it, because obviously we've just turned it out. It's actually that's quite a nice proportion, that is. So give this a bit of a shake. Now obviously normally if you was using aerosols you want to be wearing a mask. But on my extraction, I'll put a couple of filters in it to draw the particles out of the air, so I don't have to when I'm doing demos. But obviously, if I was spraying normally, then I would definitely be wearing a mask. We don't want all that nasty stuff going in our body, that's for sure. Right, so first coat.
Larry says that the Robert Sorby sander that you've got,
Yep.
here in the States is about $80. How expensive are they over there? Over here?
I don't know how it converts over, but I think they're about 50 quid for the Robert Sorby one. Because I think the Hope one is just a little bit more expensive, but not a great deal. Right. Oh, sparkly, look at that.
And the only problem is Simon Hope, unfortunately, doesn't ship to the United States or Canada anymore because of insurance purposes.
So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get the hot air gun. And again, like Wayne said, don't turn your hot air gun over the top of your work just in case there's dust in it. So I'm just going to flash this off a little bit.
12 minutes.
Thank you. Alright. I'm going to try and pick it up now without touching it. So I can show the lacquer. Oh, look at that. A bit of dust has just fell in there. Let me brush all the crud out of my hair first.
Yeah, I don't have that problem.
Nor will I after Nick's cut my hair. But anyway, there we go. Let's see if I can get it close so you can see it. Can you see the glitter in it? Can you see the glitter?
Oh yeah, you can see it now. Yeah, that's wicked.
It's a little bit thick in the middle there, but once that's dry, I'll just get in there and clean that out a little bit. That's because I put too much in there to dish it out. And I sprayed it. But
that's a sparkly varnish, is it?
yeah, it's a clear coat with the holographic, real fine holographic. I don't know if you can. It's got like blues, greens, reds. If I move it, you can purples. You can see it just glimmering in the light.
That's wicked. You're getting a lot of love in the chat for that.
Thank you. So obviously we're going to leave that to dry now, and then I may give it another coat. Let that, because obviously we put 2 coats on really, really close together. It should have been 10-15 minutes in between coats, but I wanted to try and get the bit of the depth on the glitter look. But what I will do is I'll give it another few coats through today, and then I'll try and get a picture of that up on social media tomorrow for people to see it. But yeah, that's the effect I really wanted. To be honest, as that's drying, the glitter's coming through even more on there.
Emma says it looks like dragon skin.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, if that was green and black, that'd look like dragon scales, wouldn't it? Dragon skin. So, I think we're there, mate. I think we're there. I like that. Like I say, a little bit thick in the middle, but I can polish it out once it's dry.
I'll tell you what, mate. That is one of the nicest pieces I've seen you make.
Oh, thank you.
Seriously, that's impressive.
Trying to get a good picture on the camera. There we go. That's better. Trouble is with the light glaring on it, you can't really see it. Some real nice sparkle in there, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. That's bonkers. I really like that.